Yeah,
Canada
comes back. Yeah. They tie it in the second period, and then in overtime, it's Jack Hughes for the USA. Unbelievable.
It's so fitting that the game went to overtime because both of these teams, the favorites coming into the tournament, were pushed to overtime earlier in the week in the quarters. So, I mean, I was hoping it would go to overtime for extra.
The golden goal ended a 46-year wait, and the celebration was loud. The images of Jack Hughes without his front teeth spread across the world within minutes, and less than 24 hours after overtime in Canada, Hughes delivered an update that shifted the focus away from the medal onto his condition. And that update carried consequences beyond the Olympic stage. Jack Hughes scored the overtime winner against Canada in the Olympic men's hockey final, and the goal secured the United States' first Olympic gold medal in men's hockey since 1980. The game ended in sudden death, and the final score was 2-1. One shot decided the championship as Hughes received the puck, released a quick shot, and beat the Canadian goaltender, and officials confirmed the goal immediately while Team USA left the bench in celebration. The victory ended a 46-year gold medal drought for US men's hockey, and the last Olympic gold came in 1980 at Lake Placid. That team defeated the Soviet Union before winning gold, and this time, National Hockey League players led the roster, and Hughes' overtime goal placed him at the center of that historic moment. But the game carried another turning point earlier in regulation when Hughes lost multiple teeth after contact near the net. Broadcast footage showed visible damage and blood appeared on the ice as he skated to the bench for treatment, and medical staff evaluated him before he later returned to the game. There was no report of a concussion, and the injury involved dental trauma. Images of Hughes smiling without several front teeth spread across media platforms within minutes, and the moment became part of the Olympic coverage. Despite the injury, he continued to take shifts, and he did not leave the game permanently, and his return set up the final sequence in overtime. After the game, Hughes addressed reporters, and according to coverage from Sports Illustrated, he confirmed the damage and said, "I will get them fixed." That short statement carried weight because it confirmed that dental repair would be required, and it ended speculation about whether the injury was minor, since it was not temporary and it required follow-up treatment. Olympics.com reported that Hughes laughed off missing teeth after scoring the golden goal, and the article described him smiling during celebrations despite the visible loss of teeth. The report focused on the sequence from injury during regulation to return to play, and then the overtime winner, and that timeline became central to the story. A New Jersey oral surgeon later spoke to NJ Monthly about dental trauma in hockey, and the surgeon explained that injuries involving lost teeth often require procedures such as implants or reconstructive work. While the surgeon did not treat Hughes directly, the explanation outlined the seriousness of such damage, and dental replacement is not immediate because it involves planning and medical care. The celebration on the ice continued long after the overtime goal, as Hughes skated with teammates, held the American flag, and wore the gold medal during the ceremony, while cameras continued to capture his missing teeth. The images symbolize both victory and injury, but the story did not end with the medal presentation. The focus shifted quickly after the medal ceremony, and attention moved from the overtime replay to Hughes' condition as his statement, "I will get them fixed," confirmed that dental procedures were ahead. That meant medical appointments and recovery steps, and it also meant questions about timing as the National Hockey League season prepares to resume. Hughes plays for the New Jersey Devils in the National Hockey League, and the Olympic tournament paused the NHL regular season while players are expected to return to their teams after international competition ends. Any confirmed injury draws attention, especially when it involves a top scorer, and dental trauma does not always prevent play, but treatment can require multiple visits. Sports Illustrated reported that Hughes shared a broken teeth update following the gold medal win, and he acknowledged the damage publicly, while the outlet confirmed he would undergo dental repair. No official timeline was provided in that report, and there was no announcement of missed games at that time, and the confirmed fact remained the need for corrective work. Newsweek also reported on Hughes' media appearance after the victory, and during one exchange, he shut down an awkward question from a reporter, and the interaction was brief. It redirected attention to hockey matters, and the report described the moment as firm and controlled, while that exchange circulated across social media and became part of the wider coverage around him. The New York Post published coverage describing Hughes as having cemented his place as an Olympic and American hero, and the article connected the overtime goal to the long gap since 1980. The framing focused on history and national impact, and it emphasized that the United States had waited decades for this result, and the goal ended that drought in sudden death against Canada. The rivalry between the United States and Canada in hockey carries deep history, and Olympic matchups between the two nations often draw large audiences. An overtime final increased the pressure because one mistake could decide everything, and Hughes' shot ended the contest instantly, and that sequence elevated his profile beyond the National Hockey League season. Olympics.com documented that Hughes returned to play after losing his teeth and later scored the golden goal, and the report emphasized his ability to continue competing after visible injury. It detailed the progression from regulation damage to overtime victory, and that order of events defined the headline coverage. Medical experts speaking to NJ Monthly explained that dental injuries in hockey can involve fractures, displacement, or full loss of teeth, and treatment may include implants or reconstructive procedures. The recovery process depends on severity, and public reporting has not stated the exact number of teeth lost, while Hughes confirmed only that repairs are required. As Team USA celebrated its first men's Olympic hockey gold medal in 46 years, Hughes stood at the center of every frame, with the medal hanging around his neck and the missing teeth visible in every photograph. The overtime goal secured his place in the record books, and the confirmed dental repair added the next chapter to monitor as professional play resumes.
The wait is over.
It's been a really long time. We need to get best on best back at those big games where it's country against country and it becomes more than hockey.
Opening night of the Four Nations face-off.
Well, for me, it's Celebrini, McDavid, Wilson. I love that. I think that that's a really good line. I saw how they come together there. And the reason McDavid, who's going to have the biggest spotlight on him, he's going to shoulder a lot of the responsibility for this team, as he should, and he's ready to do. But Tommy Wilson on that right side of him.
Connor McDavid sent a powerful message to Team USA, and it was not delivered in a press conference. It came through his performance on Olympic ice. Every shift, the 2026 Winter Olympics marked the return of NHL players to Olympic competition for the first time since 2014. Connor McDavid entered the tournament as an alternate captain for Team Canada, and this is his first appearance at the Olympic Games. Canada opened the men's tournament with dominant results in group play. In the preliminary round, Canada defeated France 10-2. The team controlled possession and built a multi-goal lead early. After that game, McDavid stated, "We did what we came to do." The result gave Canada early momentum and established one of the highest single-game goal totals in the tournament. Canada followed with a 5-1 win over Switzerland. In that game, McDavid scored his first Olympic goal on the power play and added assists. His production placed him among the tournament's early scoring leaders. Through 2 games, he recorded 6 total points. Canada closed preliminary play with a 5-0 victory over the Czech Republic. The team finished the group stage undefeated and secured the top overall seed entering the knockout round. Canada's goal differential ranked ahead of the United States, which also advanced with a strong record. McDavid's message to Team USA has not been verbal, it has been statistical. Through multiple Olympic games, he accumulated 9 total points across goals and assists that placed him at or near the top of the scoring leaderboard among all players in the men's tournament. His power play involvement has been consistent against Switzerland. His goal came with the man advantage. His assists created scoring sequences that expanded Canada's lead. At even strength, he has generated offense through speed and puck control. Canada's roster depth reinforces that message. Have all contributed in scoring roles. Marner scored the overtime winner in the quarterfinal round, sending Canada to the semifinal. That goal came 122 into overtime. During the quarterfinal, captain Sidney Crosby suffered a lower body injury and left the game. Head coach John Cooper confirmed Crosby had not been ruled out for the remainder of the tournament and would be evaluated. With Crosby's status uncertain, alternate captains, including McDavid, carried greater responsibility. Canada's defensive structure has also supported its offensive output. The semifinal stage places Canada 1 win away from the gold medal game. The Olympic format is single elimination at this point. A victory advances a team to play for gold, and a loss ends that path. The Canada-USA rivalry adds context to this tournament. The two nations have met in multiple Olympic and international championship games. A gold medal matchup would place McDavid against American NHL stars under Olympic stakes. Finland head coach Antti Pennanen said there were no lengths they would not consider with a gold medal opportunity at stake. The remark highlighted how opponents are preparing specifically for Canada's offensive threats. McDavid's threat is defined by measurable production. His goal contributions account for a significant percentage of Canada's scoring through the first rounds. His assist totals reflect playmaking involvement on multiple lines. Canada's special teams rank among the strongest in the tournament. McDavid's Olympic debut has been marked by high impact shifts and consistent scoring. His presence on the top line and first power play unit demonstrates the coaching staff's reliance on his production. The message sent to Team USA is not spoken. It is reflected in standings, goal totals, and scoring charts. goals. Canada enters the final stage of the tournament as the top-seeded team with one of the highest goal outputs in the competition. The Olympic schedule concludes on February 22 with the gold medal game. Canada's path remains active and the United States' path remains active. Statistical leaders, including Connor McDavid, now shape the final outcome through performance rather than words.
We're with Bruce Boudreau and Frankie Corrado. Guys, Mitch Marner with another signature moment for Team Canada. Bruce, just how wild was that finish?
I'll tell you what, these are the kind of games where your heart can't take it. You're cheering for a team so much, and it's going back and forth. And when Mitch Marner made the play, it's so totally Mitch. It doesn't look like anything's going on. Then all of a sudden, a deke here, a move there, top right corner, and it was a great goal. We've seen it before. We've seen it in overtime in the past with Mitch Marner, but it sure you could feel Canada lifting up when that happened. So it was a great relief.
The entire country.
Yeah.
Sudden silence turned into instant celebration. Mitch Marner stepped into open ice and ended Canada's Olympic quarterfinal without warning. One shot decided everything. The threat of elimination disappeared in a moment. The goal sent Canada forward and shifted the pressure across the tournament. But that single play carried more meaning than just a win.
Well, and think about it. Canada needs someone to step up. Sidney Crosby wasn't in the game anymore. Celebrini and McDavid, they were unbelievable. McKinnon felt like he was going, but you needed someone else. And now, can I say that's big game Mitch Marner, the guy who's faced so much scrutiny throughout the course of his career for what he hasn't done in the playoffs as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and now on the international stage delivering. Overtime winner at the Four Nations.
Mitch Marner delivered the decisive goal in overtime to push Canada past Czechia in the Olympic quarterfinal. The game had reached sudden death play after both teams remained locked at the end of regulation. With the season on the line and no room for error, Marner finished the contest during the opening stretch of overtime. The overtime format reduced the number of players on the ice. That created wider lanes and quicker rushes. Marner used that space to move into scoring position. Once he released the shot, the puck crossed the line and officials confirmed the goal. The contest ended immediately under sudden death rules. The win advanced Canada into the semifinal round. A loss would have ended its medal pursuit. Instead, the team moved forward in the bracket. The result shifted preparation toward the next opponent and kept Canada in position to compete for gold. Reports from ESPN confirmed that the goal came early in overtime and officially sealed the victory. Reuters described the outcome as Canada surviving a tense quarterfinal to reach the semifinal. The official scoring summary listed Marner as the player who ended the game. The matchup had remained tight throughout regulation. Neither side created a large separation on the scoreboard. Canada had to respond during key stretches to avoid elimination. The tie forced overtime and set up the decisive sequence. The timing of the goal also placed Marner into Olympic history discussion. Newsweek reported that his overtime winner marked the fastest overtime goal in Olympic hockey during the NHL participation era. That record became part of the official tournament data after the game concluded. Earlier in the same quarterfinal, Canada faced another challenge when Captain Sidney Crosby left with a lower body injury. His departure required changes in forward lines and special teams units. Marner remained active in the offensive rotation as overtime began. NBC Olympics coverage noted that Canada escaped a difficult contest and confirmed that Marner's strike secured the semifinal berth. The goal prevented what would have been an early exit for one of the tournament favorites. The official result moved Canada into a semi-final meeting with Finland. Preparation time remained short between games. The overtime finish added physical strain to both teams, but Canada advanced while Czechia's tournament ended. Marner's role in the elimination round became the defining storyline of the night. The official box score recorded his goal as the final action of the game. With that play, Canada's Olympic campaign continued and the bracket shifted accordingly. The impact of Marner's goal extended beyond the final whistle. The quarterfinal carried elimination stakes, and the overtime format meant that one play would decide everything. When Marner scored, Canada's path in the tournament changed immediately. The semifinal opponent was Finland. The turnaround between games remained short under the Olympic schedule. Teams must prepare quickly following overtime contests. Canada advanced, but the workload from extended play remained part of the physical demand. Another factor shaped the context of the win. Earlier Earlier in the game, Captain Sidney Crosby exited with a lower body injury and did not return. His absence required line changes before overtime began. Despite that adjustment, Canada maintained its offensive pressure. Marner stayed in the forward rotation and became the player who finished the contest. Newsweek reported that the timing of the overtime winner set a record in Olympic hockey during the NHL participation era. The official statistic attached Marner's name to that mark. That detail became part of tournament history and remained documented in Olympic records. NBC Olympics coverage described the victory as Canada surviving a close contest. The report confirmed that the decisive play came in overtime and immediately ended the match. The official scoring sheet listed Marner as the game-winning scorer, and the result placed Canada among the final 4 teams. The bracket shifted once the goal was recorded. Czechia's campaign concluded with the overtime loss. Canada continued forward with a semi-final berth secured. There was no shootout. There was no extended delay. The sudden death format meant that one successful attempt settled the outcome. Marner's overtime goal stands in the official record as the play that advanced Canada beyond the quarterfinal stage. The tournament structure moved ahead, and Canada remained in contention for a medal.
With Frankie Corrado, Frankie, Brad Marchand watched Canada's last 2 games from up in the seats due to injury, but John Cooper said he'll be back in the lineup for the quarterfinals.
Cleared. Confirmed. Back in the lineup. Brad Marchand is officially returning to Team Canada just as the Olympic knockout stage begins. After missing 2 straight games, his sudden clearance has changed the quarterfinal picture. Coaches stayed quiet. Practices continued behind closed doors. Now the decision is final, and what this means for Canada's medal push is only starting to unfold. Brad Marchand will play in Canada's Olympic quarterfinal game in Milan. Head coach John Cooper confirmed that Marchand will be in the quarters, according to the Hockey News. That statement ended days of uncertainty about his status. Marchand had missed 2 group stage games but continued to practice with the team during that time. Canada completed the preliminary round with a perfect 3-0 record. The team defeated Czechia in its opening game. Marchand played limited minutes in that matchup and recorded 1 assist. After that, he did not dress against Switzerland. He also did not play in Canada's final group game, direct path to the quarterfinals. Sidney Crosby recorded multiple points in that game. The offense scored consistently across all 3 periods. Marchand watched from the sidelines as teammates closed out the group stage. Reports describe Marchand's absence as precautionary. He was not listed as a long-term injury case. He participated in team practices and skated in full gear. No public details were released about a specific injury. The Times of India reported that he had been cleared for Team Canada's Olympic quarterfinal return after injury concern. The 2026 Winter Olympics mark the first time since 2014 that NHL players are competing in the Games. Canada's roster includes established NHL veterans and top scorers. Marchand brings more than 1,000 NHL games of experience. He has over 900 career points and more than 300 goals in regular season play. He also won a Stanley Cup with the Boston Bruins. With elimination games beginning, roster spots become tighter. Olympic rules limit the number of dressed skaters. Marchand's return means another forward will sit. Reports have mentioned lineup decisions involving players such as Nick Suzuki. Final combinations will appear on the official game sheet before puck drop. Canada now moves into single elimination play. 1 loss ends medal hopes. Marchand's confirmed return adds depth at a critical stage, and the quarterfinal lineup decision carries even more weight now. Marchand's NHL record shows long-term production and durability. He has played more than 1,000 regular season games. He has scored over 300 goals and recorded more than 900 career points. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, he has appeared in more than 140 games. He was part of Boston's 2011 Stanley Cup championship team. Internationally, he represented Canada at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey and scored in the tournament final. Canada's Olympic roster features veteran leaders such as Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. Both logged major minutes during the preliminary round. Crosby recorded multiple points against France. McDavid played in all 3 group games. Marchand's return adds another experienced winger who has played in high-pressure playoff games. Olympic tournament rules limit dressed skaters to 12 forwards and 6 defensemen per game. Because Marchand is returning, 1 forward must be scratched. Reports reference lineup considerations involving Nick Suzuki, though no final decision was publicly announced at the time of confirmation. Official line combinations will be known only when the game sheet is released before the quarterfinals. quarterfinal. This Olympic tournament in Milan marks the first games with NHL participation since Sochi 2014. The league paused its season to allow players to compete. Canada entered the event as one of the top-seeded teams based on roster depth and experience. The group stage results supported that standing. Marchand's clearance now shifts attention to deployment. Coaches will decide his ice time, line placement, and special teams usage before puck drop. The quarterfinal begins a new phase, and the final roster choices will define Canada's next step in the medal race.